Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining my meeting. Today we're going to talk about something which we all need to know. Okay, first of all, let me say that, let me ask everybody, why do we practice Nichiren Buddhism? Why do we chant? Now, it takes effort, it takes time to do this, but why do we continue to do it, and why do we do it anyway? And the answer is very simple. We do it, or we want to do it, because we want to solve our problems, we want to achieve our goals, which means that we want to be happy. Okay, but how should we live our lives? What is the most valuable and worthwhile way to live? A philosopher once remarked that perhaps the only way to determine happiness or unhappiness in life is by adding up at the end of one's days all the joys and all the sorrows one had experienced, and basing one's final evaluation, that is when we are dying, on whichever figure was larger. Whether you have more joy or you are sorry or you are unhappy, at the end of your life, if you count that in, then you will know. You will know whether you've got a good life, all right, or happy, all right. Despite having high positions in society or great wealth, there are many people who fail to become happy. I give you an example. I had a girlfriend who used to work as a secretary for the most wealthy person in Hong Kong, Mr. Lee. And she told me that this person, this Mr. Lee, is not a happy person. Despite all the richness, the wealthiest person, he is not happy. It's from his secretary. Okay, so despite enjoying wonderful, happy marriages or relationships, people might ultimately be parted from them because of death. Being separated from loved ones is one of the unavoidable sufferings in human life. There are many who, despite gaining great fame and popularity, they die after long, agonizing illnesses. And despite being born with great beauty, they may end up in misery. So where is happiness to be found? How can we become happy? These are the fundamental questions in life. The teachings of Nichiren Buddhism and faith in the mystic law provide fundamental answers to these questions. Sensei, on the other hand, has given us 6 conditions for happiness. The first condition for happiness is fulfillment. Happiness does not lie in outward appearances or in vanity. It is a matter of how and what we feel inside. It is a deep character in our lives. To be filled each day with a rewarding sense of joy and purpose, a sense of tasks accomplished, and deep fulfillment, people who feel this way are happy. Those who have this sense of satisfaction, even if they are extremely busy, are much happier than those who have free time on their hands but feel empty inside. Give you an example. Long time ago, I immigrated to Canada because I was working so hard that my health was impaired. So I gave up everything and immigrated to Canada with my children, thinking that, okay, I am going to live an easy life, I'm going to be happy. But in fact, this is not true. When I started to live in Canada, every day I woke up and I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do with myself. There is nothing that I want to achieve. There is nothing that I needed to do.
Your line is not, I can't hear you. I'm not sure about others.
What wealth? Okay, can anybody I was so unhappy when I was in Canada because I was doing nothing. There was no fulfillment, no satisfaction in life. So I ended up having a depression and had stomach ulcer and my stomach bleeded. That was how I felt. But in Canada, I lived in a very good environment. I have everything and I didn't have to worry about it. But there was no fulfillment and I was not happy. And at that time, I wasn't practicing Nichiren Buddhism. I didn't even know what life philosophy was. Okay, let me go on. As practitioners of Nichiren Buddhism, we get up in the morning and do Gongyo. Doing Gongyo is itself a great and noble thing. Gongyo is a solemn ceremony in which we are, in a manner of speaking, gazing out across the universe. We are looking up at the universe. It is a dialogue with the universe. Doing Gongyo and chanting Daimoku. Daimoku is Nam-myoho Renge-kyo for those newcomers or new to our practice. We chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo before the Gohonzen, represent the dawn, the start of a new day in our lives. It's the sun rising. It gives us a profound sense of contentment in the depth of our being that nothing can survive. Even when we can do this alone, we are truly fortunate to be able to do it. Some people appear to be happy, but actually start off the day feeling depressed. Now, that is me also. Before practicing, every morning when I woke up, I feel very unhappy. I look at the mirror and I was sulking. I didn't know why. It's my karma. And that goes on with my son also. Every morning when he gets up, he sulks. We're not happy. I look at the mirror and I didn't even like myself. That was my old me. I'm an unhappy person and I woke up unhappy and depressed. Let me go on. Let me continue with my experience. But now, after 20 odd years of practicing Buddhism, chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, I'm very happy. Every day when I wake up, I'm happy because I know I've got purpose in life. I've got a lot of things to do in Kosen Rufu, and I like to enjoy life. So every morning when I wake up, I say, oh, okay, it's nice. If it rains, I'm happy. It looks romantic. When there is sun, I say, oh, very good. I can put my clothes out to kill the virus. So I'm happy. Okay, let me go on. A husband may be frustrated because his wife scolded him, and he began his day frustrated, wondering, how on earth did I get into such a marriage? He will feel neither happiness nor contentment. Well, each of us may be striving to do our best in our job or other responsibilities, and to win in all areas of life, while using our spare time to work for Buddhism and Kosen Rufu, for people's happiness and the welfare of society. We are exerting ourselves energetically, often amid many hardships and obstacles. And we chant Daimoku for others' happiness. We travel long distances to talk with friends and show them warm concern and understanding. Again, I remember when I was in Toronto, I did drive an hour and a half or 2 hours to a nearby suburb to see a member and to encourage her. I would do this. Okay, let me go on. We are truly bodhisattvas. Each of us is translating this unsurpassed philosophy. Now, our Buddhism is not superstition. It's a philosophy in life to help us live happier and easier and healthier. So this philosophy, we put it into action and spreading its message far and wide. To possess a philosophy of such profound value is the greatest fortune. Accordingly, the second condition for happiness is to possess a profound philosophy. That is, the philosophy taught by SGI based on Nichiren Buddhism. The third condition for happiness is to possess conviction. We live in an age in which people can no longer clearly distinguish what is right or wrong, good or evil. If things continue in this way, humanity is destined for chaos and moral decay. In the midst of such times, we are upholding and earnestly practicing Buddhism, a teaching of the highest good. The important thing is holding on resolutely to one's convictions. People who possess an unwavering conviction will definitely become happy, because we set our mind to help other people to become happy, and in return we are happy. So this is exactly what the modern philosophy is about. What goes around comes around. You help people to be happy, and then you will become happy. Me, for instance, if I encourage a member and I can see the member situation change and become happy, I'm encouraged and I'm happy too. All right. The fourth condition is living cheerfully and vibrantly. Those who are always complaining and grumbling may not only themselves but everyone around them miserable. They make everybody miserable and unhappy because they are always complaining and grumbling. By contrast, those who always live positively and filled with enthusiasm. Now, enthusiasm is also very important, because if you lack enthusiasm, not only will not you enjoy anything in life, but you are not going to do well in life neither. Those who possess a cheerful and sunny disposition that lifts the spirits and brightens the hearts of everyone are not only happy themselves, but are a source of hope and inspiration for others. On the other hand, those who are always wearing long, gloomy expressions, a long face, whenever you meet them, and those who have lost ability to be happy and rejoice, live dark, cheerless existences. Well, contrary, those who possess good cheer can view even a scolding by a loved one, such as a spouse or partner or your senior member, as sweet music to their ears, or can greet the child's poor report card as a sign of great potential for improvement. Viewing events and situations in this kind of positive light is important. Well, again, when I first practiced Nichiren Buddhism, I've got 4 senior members supported me, and they all scolded me. For this and that, you don't have absolute faith, blah, blah, blah. But I was so grateful for their scolding, because it is their scolding that helped me grow. Okay. The strength, wisdom, and cheerfulness that accompany such an attitude lead to happiness. Now remember, strength, wisdom, cheerfulness are the qualities that can lead to happiness, qualities that we all need to have. To regard everything in a positive light or with a spirit of goodwill, does not mean being foolish and allow people to take advantage of our good nature. It means having the wisdom and perception to move things in a positive direction and seeing things in their best light, while all the time keeping our eyes firmly focused on reality. Now, this wisdom and perception we can acquire. How? By bringing forth our Buddhahood, because Buddhahood contains wisdom, courage, compassion, life force, happiness. So if we can bring forth the wisdom, we can see things differently, from different angle, and you can see light at every situation, because you know everything will be all right. And then that is what brings you happiness. And if you can see light to your problem, then you will have the courage to face it and the strength to take action. And then you are cheerful. It's very simple, actually. This is just a philosophy. Faith and the teachings of Buddhism enables us to develop that kind of character, that is, to bring forth our Buddhahood. The acquisition of such character is more valuable than any other possessions in life. The fifth condition for happiness is courage. Courageous people can overcome anything. The cowardly, on the other hand, because of the lack of courage, fail to succeed nor overcome their problems. These people are very unfortunate. Again, I have here to say that with courage, we need wisdom, because a lot of courageous people do things to hurt themselves or hurt other people. So we need wisdom to see to do what is best for ourselves and other people, and then bring forth our courage to take action for that purpose. The sixth condition for happiness is tolerance. Those who are tolerant and broad-minded make people feel comfortable and at ease. For example, if people come to complain, okay, well, I don't mean that you have to tolerate all the time, all right? But if you tolerate a couple of times and tell them everything is all right, or ask them to tell them there's a way to solve their problem, then the people will feel very comfortable and at ease. Narrow and intolerant people who look down on others for the slightest thing, or who make a great deal each time some problem arises, just exhaust and intimidate everybody. For example, some people will come across a problem, they will say, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. So, how do you make other people feel if you always like that? Again, on the other hand, if we practice Buddhism, we know if there's a problem, there's a solution. And we can get the best solution by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to the Go Hon Sen, and the courage to take the correct action, so there's no problem anymore. Now, these six conditions are ultimately contained in one single word, that is faith. A life based on faith in the mystic law is a life of unsurpassed happiness. The mystic law being, you trust that you yourself is a Buddha. You trust you have got the ability to solve everything, achieve everything. And if you chant, then you follow the mystic law is all the law of life and universe. You follow the right pattern. If you have faith in the mystic law, you follow the right pattern, and you are sure to be happy. That is, if you sail with the wind will carry you forward with much less effort. So this is what following the mystic law is all about. Now the next topic is leading the happiest of lives. This is such a good article. I've shared this document in my group chat, but I think I'm going to share it in the YouTube, because those who do not have my contact in the WhatsApp can learn about this philosophy also. Leading the happiest of lives. President Ikeda's conception of happiness is an inspiring teaching for all, encouraging those overwhelmed by suffering and hope to those shrouded in despair. In this section, President Ikeda responds about the purpose of life and how we should live our life. So let me start. How do I live my life? How can I live the very best life? These are the fundamental questions a lot of us may have. How to live is an inescapable issue that confronts people. One that has been pursued, this question has been pursued by countless philosophers and religions. The purpose is to help people live the happiest of lives. None of these areas, though, can provide an answer to the question, what constitutes the best life? There are no clear or conclusive answers that are rationally convincing. Buddhism, however, supplies a clear answer to this question. In particular, the conclusions of Shakyamuni Buddha and the Daishonin are exactly the same. Moreover, based on this conclusion, Nichiren Daishonin left behind a concrete tool, T-O-O-L, that all people can use to become happy. He enshrined the Gohonsen, which President Toda referred to as a happiness-producing machine. So what is the definition of human happiness? There is a saying, false happiness makes people become haughty and arrogant. Real happiness makes people joyful and fills them with wisdom and compassion. Does money itself make you happy? All too many people have allowed money to ruin their lives. President Toda stressed the importance of absolute happiness over relative happiness. Absolute happiness is not how one stands compared with others, and it is not permanent. False happiness is false happiness that fades with F-A-D-E-S, with the passing of time. Mr. Toda taught that we practice Nichiren Buddhism to attain a state of life where, no matter what circumstances we encounter, we can feel that life itself is a joy. That I learned a long time, even before I practiced Nichiren Buddhism. I came across this phrase, life itself is a joy. And I tried to achieve this attitude. I couldn't. Because I was born unhappy. I could not carry out this philosophy and feel that life itself is a joy until I started practicing Nichiren Buddhism, which gives me all the guidance to be able to feel this way. When we attain that state of life, our lives overflow with unsurpassed joy, wisdom, and compassion. Real happiness makes people joyful and fills them with wisdom and compassion. All kinds of things happen in life. There is sorrow, there is suffering. Every day there are things that we may find unpleasant or annoying. Many married couples may quarrel. Even if a couple does get on well, they may have a sick child, or one of them may suffer illness. We face all kinds of sufferings and problems. Well, faith is the engine that enables us to persevere in life to the very end and to become happy, because we know that everything will be solved. And not only will be solved, it will bring you happiness, and you will rise above. When we chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, hope and the strength to always live positively surge within us. Buddhism teaches that earthly desires, normally regarded as a cause of suffering, can be a springboard to enlightenment. Through faith in the mystic law, we can develop the ability to change all that is negative in our lives into something positive. We can transform all problems into happiness, sufferings into joy, anxiety into hope, and worry into peace of mind. We will always be able to find a way forward. Now, let me try to explain. Why, when we chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, that which will bring us happiness? is because chanting, I repeat, by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, will bring forth wisdom, hope, and strength. So we know we can solve all problems. We've got the power to achieve anything we want. So therefore, all those negativities do not bother us because we are always positive. It's not just the thinking, because you do feel and you know that you've got the power. And this is very important. This is what I learned from practicing Nichiren Buddhism. As human beings, we all possess our own karma. You may wish you have been born into a wealthier family, but the reality is that you were not. There are many areas in life where karma comes into play. Essentially, the concept of karma can only be understood when viewed from the perspective of life's eternity over the three existences of past, present, and future. In Buddhism, we don't only exist in this present life. Life is eternal. We've got our past life, this present life, and we've got future lives. Because, again, in science, life is all but energy, and energy does not disappear, nor can it be created. But it can be transformed into different kinds of energy. And again, that depends on how we live our life. If we do fulfill our mission, if we do Kosen Rufu, if we always help others and do all the good things, then the energy is filled with all the positive light. And when we die and we come into life again, all these positive energies will stay with us and we will have a very good life. Now this is again about cause and effect. There are past existences and the laws of cause and effect to take into account. In any case, our present reality is that we have been born here on earth. But how can we discover our true path? How can we change our karma and build a truly wonderful and meaningful existence? The answer is, in short, by embracing faith in the mystic law. Through our practice of Nichiren Buddhism, we change our negative karma and transform the place where we are living into the land of tranquil light, a place overflowing with happiness. Moreover, Nichiren Buddhism focuses on the present and the future. By always moving forward from this moment on, we can develop our life boundlessly. We can also open up infinite possibilities for our next life and lifetimes after that. We can reveal the immeasurable treasures within us and make our lives shine with the full brilliance of these treasures. Such is the power of practicing Nichiren Buddhism. The next topic is, happiness is made up of and amid life's challenges. Now today, my topics are all concerned about happiness because it's the beginning of 2023 of the new year. It's the first meeting in the new year. So I really want everybody to be able to achieve happiness in this new year. Because I've come across a lot of people lately who are not happy. They've got so many problems. This is why I emphasize on happiness, hoping that everybody will be happy from now on. Okay, let me go on. Happiness is made up of and amid life's challenges. True happiness is not a matter of chance. It is forged through our earnest efforts to overcome life's many challenges. Happiness is the happiness is the fundamental goal of life. It is also the goal of faith, and it is the goal of Buddhism. It is extremely important to understand just what happiness is. I think it is fair to say that people in all ages and places have earnestly sought the answer to the question, what is happiness? And that, for all too many today, it still remains unanswered. Happiness is something very personal. Of two people in similar circumstances, one may be happy and the other unhappy. People are all different and perceive things differently. The reality of people's lives is infinitely diverse. For example, I like snow. I admire the beauty of snow. But people who live in Toronto who have to shovel the snow and then they got traffic jam, they hate the snow. So because of different circumstances, people feel differently about different things. Well, there are many women who, though they seem to have good fortune when they are single, they have youth, beauty, and wealth, end up extremely sad and unhappy when they get married. For example, there are a lot of movie stars. They are pretty, they married wealthy husbands, but a lot of them are not happy. Living like a princess in a palace they are, eating food from gold plates and wearing stylish, immaculate clothing is not happiness. It is in fact stifling and boring, illusory and empty. Though people in such circumstances may seem to be very happy, they just want to show that they are happy, but in fact they are not. In reality, their happiness is very fragile and fleeting. Let me share with you the latest news I got from the TV or whatever, from YouTube. Everybody knows Coco Lee. I didn't know this lady, but Chloe knew her. And Chloe told me, and I was in Sydney, that Coco Lee married to a very, 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 very wealthy guy. Coco Lee is a singer, very popular, and she possesses immense beauty. But the latest news is that she is totally unhappy because her husband cheated on her more than 3 times, and she's now divorcing. So you think she's happy? She's not. Well, some, on the other hand, may appear to be suffering misfortune, but they have strong determination and dignity, achieving a life state of happiness like a magnificent painting. By surviving the tragic misfortunes of youth and experiencing many times of the hardship of others, we can lead lives that are many times richer, filled with tremendous vitality and inner strength in our final chapter. Well, for me, for example, I think I've achieved so many things in life. I've done so much, and I've got so much in life. I could honestly say that if I die, I have no regrets, because I've done so much, I've come across so much, I've experienced so much. Okay, so I have no regret, because I've come across so many problems. Even when I was a child, my family was chaotic, etc. My father was bankrupt, and I had unhappy marriages, and my children went astray. So I've got so many problems. But one by one, I overcome them. And now I'm very happy. And because of all those problems make me what I am today. So I think, in fact, the problems help me develop myself. If our lives are always smooth sailing, we will never be able to taste real happiness. It goes without saying that the treasure of happiness cannot be found in a life of ease and idleness. In other words, happiness and unhappiness ultimately are found within us. As Nichiren says, it is the heart that is important. Yes, Happiness lies within us. Where is the palace of happiness then? The eternal fortress of happiness that so many are seeking. And how is it acquired? Well, happiness can only be found within us. Actually, it's a feeling that cannot be acquired. You cannot force yourself to be happy. Okay? You can chant to become happy, but you cannot force. Happiness cannot be forced. You have to feel it. And the only way to feel it is by chanting to the Gohonzon. Because when I was so unhappy initially, when I first chanted, I was so unhappy that I chanted to the Gohonzon to be able to be happy every minute of the day, every split second of the day, so I can bring happiness to other people around me. And because of that determination, of course, there are a lot of things I have to learn, to change, to overcome, but now I'm really happy. It cannot be forced. It just comes from within. As I've told a lot of people, I went to buy something from a street stalker, and it's an old lady, and I tried to teach her chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I told her all the good things about it, and she said, I trust you because you look so happy. And this is it. The indestructible life state of Buddhahood exists within us. It can be described as an everlasting palace of happiness. By embracing faith in the mystic law and chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, we can enter this palace within our lives. In other words, the Daishonin teaches that we have the capacity to make the palace of ourself, of oneself, shine with supreme brilliance. People seek all kinds of worldly palaces of happiness. Some seek wealth or social standing, while others wish for fame, celebrity, or popularity. But none of these things are permanent, and they disappear. People who live in fine houses or possess great wealth, but if their hearts are mean and their life conditions are low, they will not be truly happy. In contrast, people who have beautiful, generous hearts and a happy life and a high life condition are certain to attain both material and spiritual happiness. When we open the palace of our own lives, it will eventually lead to the palace of happiness in others. There is an underlying continuity between the process of opening one's palace and others. This is a wonderful principle of Buddhism. Our Buddhist practice enables us to open up our lives and become happy. By continuing to develop and deepen our faith and wisdom, we can become true champions as human beings and ongoing victors in the journey of life. Okay, so this is all I have to share with you today, and I hope this will all start everybody for a good year to come.